Supra left, you taking off. No brakes, all gas. Now watch me boss up. Blockchain's future, yeah, we stacking up the blocks. While they sleeping on the tech, we be breaking all the locks. Started from the vision, now we running with precision. Oracle's automation, man, we changing the division. Multi-VM flex, ain't no stopping the ignition. Cross-chain communication, now we...
Sup, everybody. Welcome to episode 57 of the SUP. It's James Bonsama with you guys today. Unfortunately, Chase is unable to make it, so apologies. You have me in the driver's seat. But what's up? Drop me a line in the chat. I want to feel like I have company. I do not want to feel alone. So please drop your comments in the chat. Say hey, say what's up. And also keep it positive. I know the market is down and, you know, there's everyone like, you know, like just in your ear. Guys, we're doing our best. We're working as hard as we can. And just keep things positive. If you have negative things to say, come and DM rather. But for the public discourse, let's keep it positive and let's do what a community does. They drive things from the ground up. All right. So let's do that, please. And yeah, keep the chat coming. You may notice this little bottle over here. If you saw my post a little bit earlier, I have what's called a fine to do. I've got a fine for my FPL. I'm not sure if anyone watching is in the Supra Fantasy Premier League. I am not in the top 10, I don't think. And I'm getting bitten by a mosquito. 1 second, everyone. I'm getting mosquito spray. It is such a hot summer's day here. Look at my face is glowing from the sweat. Look at this. That is sweat, people. Man, oh man, it is a hot summer's day. There's no wind, so the mozzies are out. 1 second. I don't know wherever you guys are in the world, but right here we have what's called peaceful sleep. The active ingredient is diethyl toluamide. Diethyl toluamide. So on my leg she goes. Take a bit of that, Mr. Mosquito. Or mosquitoes. There it goes. It's anyway. Now back to what I was saying. I have what's called a fine in one of my Fantasy Premier League groups. If you are in the Fantasy Premier League group of the Supra community, give me a shout out. We haven't been chirping much in the Telegram there. We're still trying to figure out whether we do prizes. Also, because of the fact that I am doing so badly, I'm like, I don't want to give people prizes because I'm not going to get one. And in my other group, I keep getting fines for being so bad. So I have one. It's called a Fulham Mexico. I made up that fine and I have to take it. It's called a Fulham Mexico. Fulham Mexico. It is a 500 ml beer, which I have here unopened, right? 500 milliliters. Oh my goodness. I'm back. I apologize, everybody. It's one of those days. It's just one of those days. Of course, this would happen. This happened the last time without Chase. Whenever Chase isn't here, stuff goes down. And I know what you're thinking when I say stuff goes down. But the last time Chase wasn't here, we had a technical issue with our guest. Today, we've just had an electricity fault here in Durban, South Africa. I think there's a storm brewing, you can see there. And I think what could have happened is lightning could have struck a transformer somewhere and it could have tripped the electricity for like 5 seconds. So it had to wait for my internet to reboot the whole thing. So let's hope that doesn't happen again. All right, I'm back. Chase, what's up, my man? You are indeed the gorilla glue of the SUP. Now, back to what I was saying. I want to get through this because we have Ashton coming on in 13 minutes. So I want to get through this real quick. I'm not going to do this now. I'm doing this later, but I want to explain what's happening. So a full of Mexico is 500 ml beer, right? A raw egg, 2 shots of a spirit, in this case, vodka. So that'll be fun. And 10 shots of Tabasco sauce. So this is going to be fun. A full of Mexico coming up at the end of the show. Please, James, do not drop your egg. Okay. Yes, Nicholas, imagine if you cannot even connect to the internet. Yes, sir. I know, right? We've done 57 episodes of the SUP, and I think I've dropped twice in all 57 episodes. Before today, only once. So thanks, Nicholas. No one's perfect, my friend. All right. I'm really not in the mood for negativity. So drop the negativity in the chat and you will see. That's all I'm saying. You will see. Right. Let's move through the community posts, guys. What have we got? What have you guys been up to and talking about? DW Worrell. What's up, my man? DW Worrell. I will get the code and I'll put it on my X, James Bonsama, one word, and I'll put it on my X so you guys can join. All right. I don't have it offhand. Okay. Right. Mr. Backstage, take us through the first post, sir. The first post comes from Renew ID. Haven't seen this guy before, but they quoted an article which was written by Kurisu, another guy I haven't seen before, or girl, whoever it may be. C Kurisu 9. They wrote an article about Supra AutoFi, and Renew said this is a must read for all that want to get an idea what AutoFi on Supra actually means and enables. There's a lot going on in AI at the moment, AI agents, and Supra has native automation built into it. So reading this article will give you an idea of what's possible on Supra. So let's go. Then after that, we have Rapolia. Rapolia had a little competition, which I found interesting. So it was really cool. Mr. Backstage, if you have if I've got the wrong order, you're welcome to go to another one. Okay, here we go. Rapolia wants to announce that J.I. Daturu has won themselves some Supra. All they had to do was like a post, retweet or quote tweet, tag 3 friends, which they did. They tagged 0x Crusader. Shout out to you, V Meme Coin, and Chase. They gave a shout out to Chase as well. Send them a DM to claim your prize. Wherever you are, JL or JI Datoru, you have won some Supra. Congratulations. DW Worrell again in the chat there says Super Liquid post came in hot today. Indeed it did. Super Liquid is coming. A couple of people saying, oh, why is it, Super Liquid so fast, then why is it taking so slow? Well, that's because good things take time. We've been building it for a very long time, but it's just taking a couple of tweaks to get it ready. So it's coming very soon, very close to being released. Hang in there, guys. All right, hang in there. Shout out to you, Frogotronic. What's up, my friend? Spiky Define, my man. All the way in Latin America, my man. Thanks for tuning in. Nate Tronic, Optimus Prime took a nap. Yep, South Africa's internet took a nap, my friend. South Africa's internet took a nap. Okay, moving on from Rapolia. Now, this one there's a little bit of price action over here. But of course, do your own research. And this show has nothing to do with financial advice. This is not financial advice in any way, but I thought this was a cool post from someone in the community. and I'm going to read it and feature it anyway. Okay, so this comes from Consigliere. Just Kevin 545 is their profile. Just Kevin 545. And they say, I'm not sure if you can see it. There it is. I believe in Supra. The infrastructure and vision is next level, 100%. I understand the price has tanked in legendary fashion. I honestly plan on buying more as it tanks. I don't care. It'll either go to very low or it'll be a top 10 project. I love that. It's like it's one or the other, man. And we are focusing on the other. Know what I mean? At these levels, it's worth the exposure. And I thought this was a cool post. So just Kevin, thank you for that post. Thank you for believing in the vision. You can see the big vision, and that's it. It's kind of it's a make or break kind of project. It's a make or break kind of vision. We're going all out, and we're aiming for the highest possible achievement we can get. So we're going for it. The next community post, and I've got a lot here. I know Crypto Coin Show, Ashton Addison from Crypto Coin Show is going to be on very soon. But the next one comes from Lilis Oliveira, a Portuguese name, of course, here in South Africa. If you know your geography, just north of South Africa is Mozambique. Mozambique was colonized by the Portuguese. So there is quite a Portuguese connection here in South Africa. My province, KwaZulu-Natal, the Natal is Portuguese for Christmas Day. I think it's Christmas Day. I mean, now my history is failing me. But Natal is a Portuguese word because Vasco da Gama, a Portuguese explorer, found our bay, our harbor, which you can actually see behind these trees, and landed on Christmas Day, which is Natal. So I know that this name, Oliveira, is a Portuguese name. So if you are in Portugal or Portuguese, you're Brazilian, please let us know, Lilis. Lilis Oliveira says, to everyone asking about Supra, one reply for all. My position hasn't changed. Full bag, zero sold, zero intention to sell. I'm in for the long haul because I genuinely believe in what they are building. I'm not adding right now, though, yeah, price looks attractive, but, and then they go into a whole bunch of other stuff, which I'm not going to get into right now, but I thought that was a cool post, and I love the positivity coming through from you guys on X, so I'm going to keep pushing that. If I see positivity, I push, so appreciate that, Lilis. The next one comes from Kenzie Hanyus. Now, I don't know. There is absolutely no geographical or historical connection for me to explain here. I don't know what that means. Kenzie Hanyus is talking about their AI Garden collection. And while Mr. Backstage pulls that off, Buddha Patel says, what about Supra old users who can't claim tokens? Just email support@supra.com. We will get onto it. DM me. I will help you as much as I can. TCP says, hi, guys. Super Daddy says, AI thinks it will be top 5 by 2030. Wow, which AI, man? That's amazing. Mario puts an emoji in there. Not sure what you're trying to say there, my friend. But the next post is Kenzie Hanyus. And Mr. Backstage, I'm not sure if you are winning there, my friend, or if my internet is slow. Just drop it in the chat and let me know what's happening. But Kenzie Hanyus is at KenziHanyus. And it reads, we shall wait for it to read. How are we doing there, Mr. Backstage? Are you winning? Maybe he's lost connection. Imagine that. That would be fun. Here it comes. Here it comes. By the way, guys, sorry about my bald spot right here. I haven't done my hair. How's that bald spot right there? I haven't done my hair today, and I have my cap off because it's just too hot to wear a cap. I have it right here, ready to go, but it's just too hot, man. Oh, I'm dying out here. Look at this. Oh, my glowing face. I mean, I can see myself, obviously. Here we go, Mr. Backstage. Thank you, sir. Kenzie Hanyo says, my Tiny Legends collection, Tiny Legends, edition 30 out of 3,000. Name, Zyrelion Axarial, Garden of the Glowing Ether. Hashtag Tiny Legends, NFT, Supra, AI Garden Art, Supra Labs. Very cool image of the Tiny Legends wizard with his staff and his phoenix on top of the staff. Very, very cool. Absolutely love that. All right, last community post of today before we get into what's happening in the wider Supra ecosystem. It actually comes from our guest. I thought I would throw this in there because our guest is a very big poster on X, very active on social media. So if you aren't following them, make sure you are. Crypto Coin Show, one word, Crypto Coin Show. And it reads, if we've learned one thing from EthereumDenver so far, it's that AI agents are the future, but you don't need to attend to figure that one out. Real simple, kind of gives us a teaser as to what is happening at ETHDenver and what Ashton is going to be talking about a little bit later on. Obviously, everyone is talking about AI agents with OpenClaw just proliferating the internet, proliferating the world right now. It is phenomenal to see AI agents taking over so much of what is possible on the internet. So let me know in the chat if you guys are running an OpenClaw agent. Would love to know, what is it? What are you doing? What are you getting it to do for you? I would like to, but I also know it's quite an investment of time and a bit of cash as well. But I want to. So before end of March, I'd like to have an OpenClaw agent up and running. But let's see. We'll get to that. All right. Let's move on to ecosystem news. And Mr. Backstage is telling me here in the chat that when I can't see the post, apparently it is up because I am the only person here. I can't wait for Chase to talk and chat to him. So I'm chatting to him now live. Mr. Backstage, if that is true, and I just read off the script, you've got my back, then that's great. Just give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat. That'll be great. Okay. Oi, Judd Levy, Mr. AI Garden himself is watching. I'm trying to think, what is the time for you, Judd? Is it 4:30 right now, 4:28, or is it 5:28? Man, oh man, I love how much you hustle, dude. Judd Levy from AI Garden, the founder of AI Garden, in the chat. Nevot says, sup, my man. V Kumar, are you based in India, my friend? Because Kumar could be anywhere really, but Kumar says, lol, you didn't list on a tier 1 exchange. Well, guess what, bro? We tried, my man. We're working on it. Okay, so just all right. Way of the Dragon, I accumulate more Supra. It is very cheap. Yep, it is. And I appreciate your chat. What else we got? Russian dude, I ain't reading that, bro. Russian dude says, make NFT videos. Neural networks have blurred the line between reality and fiction. NFT videos will be top. Oh, that is a thought, and that's where AI Garden is going to be important. So Judd, who did say it is currently 528 for him, so right now 529 for him. DW Worrell again says, gave Tau Oracle a go yesterday, was dope. On-chain intelligence via Supra. Come on. Okay, what is happening in the ecosystem, guys? We start with super heroes or Supra heroes. Of course, the handle is Bonjardi, one word, Bonjardi, and they say after 17,000 mints, Supra Millionaires has officially sold out. 17,000 mints and it's sold out and ranked 9th on Crystara. That is phenomenal. To ensure a spot on the Ultimate Wheel whitelist, you can collect Supra 7 NFTs. Grand finale is coming. I mean, what a phenomenal achievement. That is extraordinary stuff from Supra Millionaires. Trying to read the volume there. If I run it back, 7.3 million Supra in volume, and they only just launched those Supra Millionaires, and there were 17,000. I love it. I absolutely love to see it. You love to see it. Great work, Supra Millionaires and Superheroes. You guys rock. All right, speaking of NFT projects on Supra, ZenX Crew have some merch. So this is epic. This is not just merch. This is ZenX energy in physical form. I mean, what a great way of framing that. Born on chain, dripped in reality. If you know, you know. IYKNK. I think that's it. If you know, you know. IYKYK. If you know, you know. ZenX t-shirt is coming. Stay ready. Get yourself a ZenX t-shirt. Follow them. ZenX Crew, one word, Z-E or Z-E for Chase. He's the only American who watches this, right? ZenexCrew. Wait, Judd is watching as well. He's an American, so Zenix crew, one word, follow them. Metasol Supra, the next ecosystem post. Metasol _ Supra. Meta, easy to spell. Sol, easy to spell. Not Solana, Sol, Soul. This thing right here, one word, Metasol _ Supra. They say weekend Rumble Royale. G Soul Wanderers, what was lost has returned, and the strong will reign supreme. Don't miss the Midnight Rumble Royale with its excitement and small prizes of Supra tokens for 5 winners. More information includes the time, 11 a.m. UTC, which was back in February 15th, and then they run through the details. But if you're a part of that Rumble Royale, I hope you guys were winners. I hope you participated, and there are more adventures, more activities and campaigns coming from Metasol, so make sure you are following them. Dexlin Labs is next. What is going on in Dexlin? One-click trading. Now, I haven't tried this yet. I would love to try it because one-click trading is wild, man. Like, figure that out. How do you one-click trade? It went live on the 16th of Feb, which is Monday. So tomorrow, they posted this on Sunday. But on Sunday, they said tomorrow, one-click trading goes live on mainnet. No more testnet. Real trades. 0 pop-ups. No gas fees. Instant execution. All controls in one screen. Incredible. Cadets, no warm-up needed. Just show up and trade. Now, as I say, I haven't tried this yet, but if you understand DEX trading, even if it's a perpetual trading desk, you're going to make a swap, you're going to make a trade, open a long, open a short, and you're going to need to sign your transaction. So you're going to have a pop-up of your Star Key wallet or your Ribbit wallet, and you're going to need to authorize that transaction. But what they've done is they've incorporated all into one action. You authorize when you log in, and then every time you trade, it simply signs it for you. It automatically does it, so you don't need to click authorize again. So they're speeding things up here in the Supra Perp Dex ecosystem. All right, next up is Atmos Protocol. Ashton, watch what is up. I'm going to bring you on very shortly. Ashton is here. He's backstage right now. Guys, Crypto Coin Show is here. We are going to bring Ashton in very, very shortly. Elf N74, what's up? I am not a retard, my friend. I don't look retarded. I've been for tests. I have been for doctoral tests to test my mental health. I am not retarded. So thank you so much. But to you too, my friend. Thank you for joining us in the chat, my friend. Spiky.fun says, OpenClaw is so powerful, you need to try it. Are you telling me that you have tried it? Because if you have, that is amazing. And all right, let's move on to the next ecosystem post. Atmos Protocol. I want to race through these. Let's just see how many I have left because Ashton is here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow. Okay, I'm going to race through these, Mr. Backstage. Follow me, sir. Let's go. Atmos Protocol, they invite your timeline to Token Studio. So that's everyone following you. Get them on the Token Studio. You get 10% of their trading fees every time they trade on Token Studio. And they get a 5% rebate just for entering your code. You get passive Supra auto-deposited the second their trade completes. Just set it up once and start earning. Need a custom brand code for your KOL group or community? Request one directly from the UI. Go and check it out. Atmos Protocol. Solido Money, AutoFi log number 29. Their iAssets are live. In case you missed that, you can now borrow cash with iAssets. V Solid rewards have been activated. They are moving forward. Big stuff happening on Solido. And get your iAssets over to Solido and borrow cash with them. AI Garden Judd, I hope you're still watching, my friend. This was amazing to see your launch over the last couple of days. Here he says, catchphrase video generated at Mint. It's included with each tiny legend. It does exclude free Dream Protocol holders mints, but you can now generate videos with a catchphrase at your mint with your tiny legend. So make sure you give that a go. Follow AI Garden Art or DM them, give them a shout out. They will reply and help you if you need help. And finally, ToonSwap Supra, they have major updates. They're introducing the ToonSwap Points Reward Program. Earn points through multiple activities, then redeem for Toon rewards every month. Here's what's coming up. Here's what's happening. Ways to earn points. You can trade or swap. You can add liquidity. You can daily check in, complete social tasks, refer friends, earn from your friends' swaps, earn from your friends' LP ads, join Launchpad campaigns, play the Toon Arcade, and many more ways, all coming soon. I love what Chris is doing and the ToonSwap team, always building utility, always working on the project, always working on their tokenomics. And remember that points reset monthly, so everyone gets a fresh chance to earn Toon and grow with the community. Coming soon on Supra EVM mainnet. Of course, EVM currently on DevNet. It'll be on mainnet soon. Stay tuned. We're working hard on that. We're working on a million things right now, guys. We're doing our best as far as we can. We're definitely not retarded, Kumar. I think that was Kumar that called us that earlier. No, it wasn't. My apologies, Kumar. It was Elf N74. As me stop the drama, bro, the SUP is a live stream and it's all about drama. Live streams are about drama. This is me, bro. I am unhinged and dramatic, and it's just the way I roll. And as I said, I'm not in the mood for negativity, so I will be calling you out, and I will be in my unhinged manner, just giving it straight back. So if you want to give me drama, I will give you drama. Simple as that. All right, let's get Crypto Coin Show. The man himself, Ashton, come on board, my friend. Let's get you on to the show and find out what's going on in Denver right now. Of course, EthereumDenver is happening live right now. I really hope that my internet connection is okay and that my machine is okay to be able to interact with Ashton. We shall wait for him to come on screen for me. You guys might be able to see him, but I can't yet. So Ashton, just hang on there. Let us see.
Yeah, we're here, James. Can you hear me?
I have a Mozzie on my computer keyboard right now. Oh, got it. Look at that. Take some of that, Mr. Mozzie. Mr. South African Mozzie, my friend. Right. Mr. Backstage, keep me posted in the chat, please, sir, so that I know what's happening, because currently I don't know what's happening.
Check. Can you see me, James?
Let me know. I shall wipe my mustache and my forehead, which is sweating profusely at the moment. Wow. TCP says yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I keep waiting for Mr. Backstage to keep me posted on what's happening. I hope my internet connection is okay, guys. Let me know in the chat if you're watching. Judd and everyone. Super Daddy says we can see and hear you. I'm not sure if you can see Ashton yet. We're waiting for that. I'm waiting to see Ashton. Once we get Ashton, we can start interacting with him and chatting to him. Hopefully that restream our... Oh, he's there for you. Okay, so Ashton, apologies. This is great. I can't hear you. Wonderful. I might need to switch over to my phone if this happens. I'm trying to figure out the best way of doing this, guys. All right, Ashton is there. Ashton, I apologize for this, my friend. We haven't had this before. I tell you what, Mr. Backstage, do me a favor, just put up a message. Ashton, apologies. If you want to introduce yourself, feel free to go ahead and do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to log out, shut down Chrome, and come back in. Let's hope that that works. Okay, guys, so I'll be back in as quick as possible. Give me a sec.
Yeah, appreciate it, James. I'll take over while we are switching over. Thank you for having me on. Ashton from the Crypto Coin Show. We've been long-term supporters of Supra since the beginning, and Supra Oracles in 2020, 2021, seed investors as well. We saw the vision early on. Been helping grow awareness in blockchain since 2014, actually, when we started Crypto Coin Show. And if you haven't seen the show, it's mainly interviews with founders and investors and startups. And we've had both Josh and John from Supra on the show many times over the years. Last was in late 2025. We were planning one post EthereumDenver, so there should be another show coming up soon. And normally like 30-minute shows, but we do shorts as well. And we just try to hard hit. Let's get all the updates on the ecosystem, where we're at, where we're headed, what we need to take this to the next level. And when we last spoke, I was just looking at the community posts. There was quite a few ecosystems. They're all growing. So there's a lot to keep up with in Supra. So we'll definitely have to do an update. I know you did send me some questions that you were going to ask about the show. We've done 1,500 episodes. There have been some pretty great projects. A lot of them we started speaking to around 2021 highs. And of course, many died, but Supra has still been going strong. And a few other layer one ecosystems. I think tying into AI further is, that's right now it's the current narrative, and there have been many narratives across Web3, but this one is different. It's definitely here to stay. It's sort of like DeFi. When DeFi became a thing, people were trying to figure out how to use it properly in DeFi summer 2020, 2021, and it has evolved. But there's been many other, narratives over the years of NFTs and quantum, which, who knows if they're going to come to fruition. Or continue to grow, but AI agents at EthereumDenver, AI agents are pretty much the number one topic that everyone's talking about. And
right, can you hear me all right there, Ashton?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
We are back. My connection is back, man. That was great, bro. I mean, that is one good thing about having an experienced interviewer who can just take over and run. That was amazing, bro. Ashton, let's start right there. Your background. I mean, you are a gifted interviewer. You really do have the knack for being on camera, on mic. What is your background? Is it media? Is it TV or radio? How did you get so good at this?
Well, when you do 1,500 interviews, the first one is definitely not going to be good. If you scroll way back, you'll probably see me looking like a child with no beard in a suit. Looking like he's trying to start the next Reuters insider. Back in the 2016 days, my father actually co-founded Crypto Coin Show with me, and he had the foresight. He was a video broadcaster on Reuters as well, and .com entrepreneur startup. And when we saw Bitcoin in 2013, 2012 even, it was the time that Julian Assange started accepting Bitcoin for WikiLeaks. He knew that was the future then and there, that this blockchain and internet money would be a thing. So over the years, I was actually studying finance, but I knew that I was going to be an entrepreneur. I was doubling in finance and accounting, and all these people, my friends in college were like, yeah, we're just going to go work at this Big Four firm. And I'm like, I'm definitely not going there. I'm just here for the paper, and then I'm just going to go start my own venture, and we'll go into crypto, which is the future. And of course, a year or two later, they were messaging me, can we come work for you? Like, it sounds so much better than like working at an accounting firm. So Supra t-shirt, I actually need more Supra swag. There is a Supra booth at EthereumDenver. I'm going to go raid it and check if there's any swag there. I didn't get the chance to look behind the desk, but would love to get some swag for sure.
Well, I'll make sure that you do get some. I'll tell John and Josh to keep some aside for you. If you don't get any, don't worry. Chase is watching the show. We'll make sure that he gets some over to you. Dude, I mean, you can tell that you have some kind of media background because, you mentioned that your dad worked at Reuters. You can see that that's come through in just the way you compose yourself behind the camera like that. Absolutely love your work, by the way. And yeah, you have grown, but from the get-go, you really were professional, man. 1,500 interviews is just phenomenal. I'm going to ask you a tough question, but if you can narrow, even if it's just one, two, or three, which has been your best interview so far?
Yeah. It's been a lot over the years, and to define best interview, was it the most prominent guest? Was it the most fun? Was it the one that got me into, the ICO that did 1,000x? But the most iconic one that people always mention to me was interviewing John McAfee while he was hiding in the mountains of India.
Wow. I didn't
Somewhere.
even know you've interviewed John McAfee.
He's-
That's incredible.
Yeah, that was a fun one, and that one was like, it was almost like a McAfee monologue. I would ask a question, and then it would just be like this 20-minute answer of like the government and this and that, and I'm like, I'm just gonna let you talk. Like, hey, I can't, I'm not gonna interrupt here. And he actually had started the McAfee Dex, which at the time, which didn't go very far, but he had the ideology that decentralized exchanges are what we need, and DeFi. So yeah, that was definitely the top fun one. And if you watch it, you'll see at one point I asked him a question, and he was drinking his water and he spits it like all over the screen. He like goes
Wow,
crazy.
that's
So,
actually pretty cool. Must have been a good question.
yeah. So that was fun, and we've had over the years Roger Ver, Charles Hoskinson a few times, and some of these other layer ones that when they came on, it sounded like it's too good to be true. And I was like, is this like a scam, or is this like the next big thing? And it ended up being some really big layer one protocols. So that's why, that's the point of the show. And that's why we do the interviews, is because we're looking for, the next Ethereum or the next DeFi app that's going to blow up and, have the potential to invest in it in the beginning. And hear from the founder's mouth for sure, rather than me just reading the website, because when you're doing professional investing, the founder is very important. The founder is going to make or break the project. So have them on the show directly to hear from them what they're working on and get a sense of who they are. I think it's very important.
Yeah, 100%, man. Now, bro, you've headed out to Denver. I'm not sure if you can open up your curtains or if you have a window that you can show us what Denver looks like. If you can't, no worries. I understand it's 7:48 in the morning in Denver right now, but if you can show us what Denver is like as you get ready for the day.
Actually, it's my first time in Denver, and because I've been, I circuited a lot. We can talk about the other conferences you were asking about. In the 2017 circuit, there were some huge conferences, but Denver, which is very builder focused, which I love. I didn't get to go because I had other, things that I was doing in the past years. But I actually have. It's actually pretty nice. Besides being very cold, and I don't know why they do frozen tundra conferences when some of these other conferences are in Cancun and in Cannes, nice places.
Singapore.
But there actually is, I think it's a pretty decent representation here. If you can see, we got
nice. Wow.
the nice Roman bank.
Yeah,
behind
historical building there behind you.
Yeah, so I'm sure there's other parts of Denver that are quite dumpy, but this is
how far a walk is the main conference? I mean, I know there's always so many different things happening around the cities of these events, but the main conference location, how far a walk or Uber is it for
it's
you?
not walkable, unfortunately. There's a beautiful convention center downtown, but I'm guessing it's too expensive for their taste. There's another convention center in the industrial area that also has like livestock and stuff. It didn't smell, but apparently in previous years you could smell the cows while you were at the conference. So thankfully that isn't happening. But all of the other side events, they're all over. They're sort of downtown. So you have to pick your battles because you got to Uber. It's not too long, maybe 10, 15 minutes max. Uber to the conference, then back to the side events, then back to the conference. Yesterday, I went to the conference twice because I had some other meetings downtown. So, but it's not too far, and it was pretty nice venue. There's there's so much more than some of these other conferences that I've been to, where it's just booths of companies, which is cool too. But this one has like the history of Ethereum, like arcade games, and it's set in like very like dark, like it's almost like you're in an arcade or you're in like a nightclub or something. And then you go to the conference area and it's light. So it's actually different environments as well. Beanbag chairs in front of the panel stage. So you're like sort of chilling. Yeah, it's a really cool vibe actually.
What about the general sort of interest and niche projects or sort of focus of Web3 and ETHDenver in particular? We posted your X post just shortly, a couple of minutes ago, about how AI agents are the big thing. Is there anything else, or if you want to expand on that, what is that big focus that developers and the Web3 industry are focused and interested in right now, specifically from your perspective at ETHDenver?
Yeah, I caught a mix of different panels and talks, and AI agents. It's sort of like that's a huge thing right now, and figuring out how to properly integrate that into blockchain and where it fits in. And we haven't got to that yet because everything's moving so fast. OpenClaw's coming out, but things like the X402 payments, or once humanoid robots, which I did see a few little robots walking around at the conference as well. How can we, if he's serving me a coffee, how can I pay him? What's his wallet? How can we pay in stable coins, of course. So tying that in is something that people are working on. It's very builder focused, which I think is great. It's more important than some of these Bitcoin conferences where there's Bitcoin companies, but it's really around the price of Bitcoin, or just retail investors, what they think about where it's going to go up and down. It's sort of the opposite of that, where people are focused on the technology. And some of the talks are like, I know we're down, and I've talked to some of these smaller projects there that are really good, like 100 million market cap, and the coin's down. But it's like, with the state of the industry right now, the fundamentals are so strong that you can't be looking at the coin price. You have to be bullish long term, because the institutions, it's not they're coming, they're here and they're accumulating, and they're looking at how we can integrate stable coins and things like that.
Right, Ashton, I now want to go right into what's your feel about Supra. I think it's worth disclaiming that my understanding is you are an early investor in Supra, and obviously the market is down right now, so everyone's feeling it. You've seen our booth. We've got a smaller booth this year at ETHDenver, but I'm not sure if you've been able to bump into John Kay or Josh. But just from your experience so far, if you have been able to chat to them, what would you say to people who are frustrated in the Supra community, Supra holders? What would you say to people who are frustrated with the current market conditions right now?
Yeah, the focusing only on the token price, when it's like having a public company when the stock market is crashing, and it's like, oh, it's their fault personally that the coin is down or something. And especially with such a much smaller industry and market cap overall in the entire crypto industry than stocks, it is a lot harder to beat the market, and until Bitcoin and Ethereum start to move back up, the coins won't be able to, defy the market. But looking at these other projects that I've spoken to, there's so much on the horizon. Like, for example, the EVM mainnet, which I think will be huge with Supra, fundamental updates, and the fact that there is an ecosystem of different platforms already growing. And you just saw some of the announcements you made. They have other mainnet launches coming out. They're working on different things, stable coins, staking, and getting yield. I think those are all important assets to the ecosystem, and just look at the fundamentals and what's coming next, and see that the entire ecosystem is growing. And also long-term investors, they are smart investors. They're always long-term. So, they're not looking at, what's it going to be like in 2 months from now. They're looking at years, and having already invested in 2021, now we're 5 years later, and I'm expecting another 5 years. And, it's like Warren Buffett doesn't buy stocks that he's going to sell next year. I'm guessing he's never done that, where he buys something, and if it goes down, the reason he bought it was because he has conviction in it. If it goes down, he's like, yes, now I can get more of the same, So I think that's the mentality that people need to have.
Yeah, 100%, man. I love that. What would you like to see from Supra, the Supra Foundation, the team, the developers, the founders, Josh and John? What would you like to see from Supra in the next 1 to 2 years?
Yeah, I think the AutoFi is obviously huge, and tying that into automation, and if there's further AI or AI agent integrations into that, with more layman interaction, I think getting away from, I think smart contracts might be a bad term. That on the front end, we don't want to have to interact with a smart contract. We want to just talk to an LLM or a chatbot. I've spoken to a few companies that have just built AI agents specifically for managing your personal financial portfolio, and they're more specific than an LLM because they take all of your information into account. So integrating AI further to allow the, say AutoFi is doing things for you automatically, have the agent be able to explain that to you like he's your financial advisor, but your friend, in a way that you can understand. So doubling down on that. The EVM mainnet tying into the network effect of Ethereum, I think, is very important. And stable coins is super important as well. I think having more access to stables and tying into the Ethereum ecosystem, that's the reason that Base has gotten so popular, and also because of their US presence and their role in politics and trying to tie into big money. There's a huge retail community in Supra. I think we need to be able to break this down and explain more to the institutional investors and inside the US that this is amazing technology and it fits into the ecosystem and it can tie in. If they have stablecoins on Base, we can do a one-click. As you said, some of these protocols are doing one-click trading. Well, it's one-click trade from USDC on Base into Supra, and then be able to pay in real life, or be able to do one more click and earn yield on that. So, DPIN, the new narrative in DPIN that's arising is called InfraFi, which is doing stablecoin yields to have, real world money that is stable and earning yield on that, so that you can use that capital to reinvest into the protocols to grow them. So I think those are a few of the things that we should continue to work on with Supra.
Man, I mean, spoken like an advisor. I'm taking that clip, sending it to the Supra Foundation, my bosses, and making sure that they follow that outline. That was amazing. But I can tell you that EVM is a big focus. It's why we're at ETHDenver. And of course, AutoFi is massive, especially with what's going on in the world of AI. Super Daddy says that you're a smart dude, by the way, which we know that. Mardude makes a great point. He says, this is, imagine your AI agent, your financial advisor, AI financial advisor. Hey, friend, you just liquidated on Solido. Care for a drink? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Love those comments coming through. Ashton, as we wrap up, just coming back to your work, what can we expect from your channels in the coming months and years?
Continuing to grow, continuing to focus on great projects, having Josh and John back on the show, maybe both of them, if that's possible. We haven't done that yet. There'll definitely be more videos and shorts with the founders. I've actually been in talk with a few of the ecosystem partners, Dexlin, and Solido, and some of these guys. We haven't had them on the show yet, so would love to expand on that as well. And we also have a Substack newsletter where, if you don't have time to listen to the full 30 minutes, we try to make it as concise as possible and upfront about get to the facts. Investors, time is money for investors, and we want to hear what's going on and what's good. But we also have a Substack newsletter if you prefer written format that also shows the videos and market analysis on where I think Bitcoin and Ethereum is going, which is important if you are in altcoins and other layer ones and layer twos, because their success will also be the success of the smaller economy inside of crypto.
Love that. And of course, guys, if you've just tuned in, Ashton told us earlier he actually studied finance. So his technical analysis is going to hold some weight.
But it's not financial advice.
Yeah,
It's all education.
I totally get that. Totally get that. Just, I have to ask this, Ashton, your accent sounds like it could be Canadian. Am I correct in saying that? Where are you based?
Yeah, you're right. It is Canadian. Good guess. And I've been all over. I was in Canada, and I was in Mexico, and now I'm in the US. So covering the North American ground here. So I think the US, they're at least what the president says, they want to be the leader in crypto. And of course, everything takes time. But I expect them to have more innovation than Canada and Mexico on crypto and lead the way. And I think it's important to be here to help push that through. And I would love to find other ways to get Supra more involved in the US institutions and adoption as well.
Awesome. Yeah. And I really hope that you do get to connect with Josh. Just a word of advice I can say, trying to schedule time with him offline or rather digitally is a challenge. Let's put it that way. So if you can get him in person, you grab him, you hold him, and you say 10 minutes right now, we're doing an interview. And please push that American thing, because I agree. The US is such an important market. Ashton, has been such a privilege having you on, man. Thank you for coming on the show. What advice, just as we close off today, what advice would you give to content creators or aspiring content creators who want to build an audience like yours? And then anything else you'd like to say to the Supra audience watching?
Yeah, I think, there's always room for more content creators. I have friends that started channels like, for example, Crypto. He used to comment on my videos in 2017, thinking about starting a show. And now he's like, one of the top in the world. And I actually helped inspire him to do it. And, but he started much later. And it's never too late to create more content. It's nice to, show your face and not be so anon, although it is possible if you have great alpha to be anon as well. But I think where we're going with the further adoption of the mainstream, it's, associate, be proud to be pushing the new financial system into a more decentralized, secure nature. And, I've already said it with regards to the industry, it's in a dip and it goes in cycles. I would highly recommend watching my recent interview with Michael Turpin. He's known as the godfather of Bitcoin or of crypto. He actually, in his video, he talks about the 4 seasons of Bitcoin and how we were in Bitcoin summer and now we're in Bitcoin fall. He even called the bottom at 60K around the first week of January. He did call it, for later in Q2, but we did hit 60K exactly to the cent. So if that was the bottom, I'll definitely be calling him the godfather of crypto. But he also is very bullish on Bitcoin and the ecosystem and knows that we're going up. And it's a long-term, smart investors, they're long-term, but you got to stick with it and, find new ways to get more capital, get it into this ecosystem to prosper.
What a rock star, man. All right. So I'm not sure if you saw earlier on, I have to do a fine, which I'm actually going to be doing live on the show. It's called, you mentioned you were in Mexico. This is called Fulham, Mexico, because it's because of an English Premier League football team I support called Fulham. I lost. It includes a 500 ml beer, which I think is like half a gallon or something. I don't know. And a raw egg, 10 drops of Tabasco, 2 shots of vodka, and that's it. But while I pour this, final comments to our Supra audience. What would you say to everyone watching right now?
Yeah, I would say with the Supra audience, we often support Supra on our socials among our portfolio companies, and the contributions from other members. It's insane. It's amazing. It's actually one of the best communities. You guys are awesome. Anytime we post about Supra, the comments are crazy. Like compared to these other L1s, there's so many people that are involved. I think we got to get bigger whales into this as well. That's part of the US play that I've been talking about. I want to say, like, call your local representative, at least
You should be a politician, bro. You should be a politician.
Yeah, if not Bitcoin, or if not Supra, like get me to Bitcoin first, and then you explain Supra. So I think that's important. I actually did have a politician or lobbyist on the show very recently as well, and from the Democrat side, which are known to be not as crypto friendly, focusing on crypto being a bipartisan thing, that both sides need to get on this, because there's obvious benefits that we've seen in other countries that have made Bitcoin or payments for everyday people. It's coming with the regulation that happened for stablecoins last year. And if you take a look at Masari, I was reading through their reports. They have a 160-page report on stablecoins and stablecoin payments, which is very long. You're going to need AI agents to cut through that one. But it's super important to stay on this, because it's not going away. It's only going to get bigger.
Love it, man. So good. So good. Ashton, you have been a rock star, like an absolute rock star, bro. It's such a privilege to know you, working at Supra. I've been able to get to know you, and I love your work, man. Thank you so much for what you've done for Supra, what you're doing for the Web3 industry. I'm going to wrap up the show, everybody, with this full of Mexico. Cheers. Until next time, episode 58, same place, same time next week. Ashton, enjoy ETHDenver, and we'll be in touch, man.
Thank you, man. You guys as well. Thank you for having me.
It was great. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Here we go. Let's go. Bottoms up. Woo. Woo. Don't try this at home, folks. Bye-bye. Catch you next time. Sup.
Yeah. Super labs, we taking off. No brakes. All gas. Now watch me boss up. Blockchain's future.